reality. That ain't happening where I'm from.
Nope.
So, like, it just goes to show you, man, a lot of these clowns in the industry are goats. They're lames.
Hey,
They're
Lego.
jokes. They're
Lego.
nobodies, bro. They're nobodies.
We are live, Lego.
They don't step out. They don't step out in this real world, bro. And people go nuts over them. They ain't getting saluted. They're not somebody that people say, yo, look, there's a stand-up guy. Yo, he entered the building. They don't even get what we get. We prestige each other. They don't even get that. So the best thing they could do is come in and try to ruin an Xbox moment.
All right.
Come on, man. Like, it was already at the bottom.
When he gets going, you can't stop him. So we're live, Legal. You just kept rambling on about this. Save all that ammo, all those thoughts for later on.
You
just crashing. I know. So listen, I got to tell everybody, Logic.
Shout out to my man Tech. Shout out to my man
Logic.
Logic. And look, man, I want y'all to wreck it. I'm gonna come back later on and watch this show. But yeah, man, let them have it, man. Look, real gamers recognize real gamers.
Yep.
Do y'all's thing, man. Yo, I got nothing but love for y'all. Tech, keep doing your thing, brother. You know what? I gotta come up on Tech's show. I never did.
Well, because you're always a busy guy, man, and your schedule is always kind of off. So it's not. I mean, it's not nobody's fault. It's just like you work a lot. Kind of like Rogue.
Right.
You work a lot.
Right, but it's fun, man, because we gotta, Tech's been doing this stuff, but I gotta get on his show too and just have fun with him because, you know what I'm saying? We can't take all the love. We gotta share some of this love with Tech. But yo, I'm out of here, Tech.
Well, if you got time, man, if I'm still online, just come on back in and you should be good to go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to crash the show, man. Hey,
Later,
man. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, Legal.
Peace, y'all.
All right, so I guess that was an introduction to the show for this one, where Legal had crashed it, talked a bit about the Kotaku thing, which we'll talk about later. But now it's just me and Logic here.
What's up?
What's up, man? How you been? I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. I mean, like not besides Twitter.
Like a week. Yeah, besides Twitter, but actually like talk. It's been like a week or two. No, good, man. How was your 4th? I was going to ask you.
We did nothing. We just stayed inside and was lazy. That's all we did here. So
that's not bad. That's
cool. Yeah. So we stayed in and just kind of relaxed a little bit, play some games. I got my son set up with his VR headset with my laptop, so he can play Roblox with the VR. So he's been asking for that, and I got him all set up and needed some special cable to make that happen, and it worked. So he's not every day. He's like, "Hey, can I use your laptop?" I say, "No. Don't start trying to take over my laptop. That's my laptop."
Sure.
So, but that's the excitement we got. We saw what's that new the baby boss movie.
Oh, the second one is it like the sequel?
Yeah, it's actually good. If you like the first one, you'll like the second one.
I almost seen the ads for it. I've never actually watched it, but I know it was.
I almost cried for a second there.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about brothers. So.
All right, I got you.
Almost shed a tear there, but I sucked it up. I'm like, no, you're gonna tear up, man. I'm good.
That's like the Pixar movies. They always get you.
Yeah, they always get you, man.
Especially when you're older. Like the Pixar movies when I was a kid, it was like, oh, that's cool, like animation and stuff. And then you watch the Pixar movie now and you're like,
oh my God.
Wow, that's really deep.
It's like heartbreaking.
Exactly. Like you start choking up and stuff. And it's like you see the morality and stuff of what they're trying to convey. And it's a nice, cartoon movie. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, no, nothing much. Anything special you did?
No, nothing. Gaming, just, barbecue, pool. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just hanging out with family and stuff like that. But definitely the gaming, man. There's Tarkov, MLB. I'm all over the place, dude. I'm League of Legends. You got a tournament coming up this weekend, man.
That's right. You did say that. So we had a few things coming up that happened this week, which I thought, you know what, let's get online today and talk about it. And the first one I got here is the new Nintendo Switch. Are you even a fan of it? Do you have one?
The Switch, I don't have one. My brother does. Yeah. I remember playing my first experience with the Switch was playing my buddy's Switch, and it was actually playing Breath of the Wild. Literally, he had it loaded up. That's all I wanted to play. I was hanging out at his house one day. I was checking it out. I was playing it. I enjoyed it. And then I realized, thanks to some of the great community out there in the modding community, I was able to play Breath of the Wild on the PC. So that's what got me. But my first experience was on a Switch, and it ran great and stuff like that. I played Smash on the Switch with my buddy as well, too, my buddy Turpin. I have some experience and stuff like that. It was always cool. It's more of a niche thing. Like, I've liked Nintendo products. I've owned a DS before, but I think it's a niche thing. I think you really have to be about Nintendo and in that ecosystem to really appreciate it and stuff like that. Me, I've always been one of those hardcore gamers on the FPS, MOBAs now and stuff, PC. So it's like, it doesn't really gravitate to me. Maybe if I traveled more, if I traveled for work, if I was out always going around and stuff like that, I think I could definitely find, because as far as like portable gaming hardware, I think it's almost like bar none. It's probably some of the best or the best option out there. Yeah. But I don't also too with this one, I think this is just Nintendo skating by, dude. Yeah. This is literally this is Nintendo saying, wait, you're gonna buy this anyway? I don't have to try. I'm going to give you an OLED screen, something that I should have did the first time around. Yep. But here, OLED, I'm going to give you 64 gigabytes of internal memory. Yep. Here you go, dude. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to raise the price $50. You're welcome. Yeah. So it's like, or even 100, because at one point or another, I know you could get the vanilla Switch for $249. Yeah. At its lowest. So it's like, this will probably drop down to $300, or get bundled with a game in Best Buy and Target and stuff like that this holiday.
So a lot of people, I guess, were expecting a pro version.
I was.
Which a lot of people were. I just never thought of it because, like, I'm happy with what I got with the regular Switch, the vanilla Switch. Somebody posted this comparison on price. Which one would you go with?
I mean, once again, it just comes down to the type of gamer that you are. If you're always on the go, if you're a guy or a girl that you travel for work, if you're a kid where you bounce around, you're in a car. Like, imagine if you're in a family and the family likes to carpool and they have family that lives 2 hours away and stuff like that, and they're always in there. It's like, if I'm a kid, my cell phone's great and stuff like that now that, kids that are privileged, they have cell phones. But get me a Switch, because then I could have my gaming wherever I go and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that's like the best option, sometimes too.
Yeah, I bought mine. I don't know when I bought mine, but I started traveling a lot more for work. Yeah. And I wanted to game some more, and I was going to take my Xbox, the VCR looking one, anywhere with me. So I got the Switch because, I was interested in some games. And it worked great because you could find some good dongles and, and hook it up to the hotel TV and you're gaming like you're at home or something,
Exactly. Yeah.
And, on the airport or waiting at the airport as well. So it was a good device. But this new one, the OLED model, I guess they call it because of the OLED screen, which is the biggest upgrade, I think.
Right.
But other than that, it's still the same. Oh, that's right. You get the Surface style back kickstand.
Yeah, right, exactly. They improved the kickstand, which I'm still trying to find people that play it that way.
I tried,
nobody that I know can play it that way. I just feel that it's always been weird for me to hold both controllers in each hand. Even like if I was just going to set the system down, I had to set them up in the default the little holder, like the
attachment
Pro controller, the attachment where you put them both in at the same time. Yeah. Like that's comfortable because it doesn't. Not to say that I couldn't get used to if I had to play like with each hand individually. I
can't play
the Wii and stuff, but I think that's just it's difficult and it's weird for me personally.
It is.
So, but then also too that we might be passing over it or not forgetting it, but they added an Ethernet port finally. So
that's a good thing. I mean, I like my stuff plugged in.
Yeah. So, but think about all the online modes and games that people have been playing now on Wi-Fi for all of these years, like Smash, for example, and stuff like that. And they've been playing these games, Splatoon, anything that's Mario Kart, anything that's had multiplayer, and you've had to do it on Wi-Fi. So now you get to plug in your internet and hopefully have a more solid connection. So that's a plus. That's definitely a plus. And you're also going to be able to purchase that dock separately.
Oh,
you're going to be able to buy. Yeah, so they just confirmed it. That was another thing as well too.
I didn't know that.
I believe it was GameSpot that confirmed it through Nintendo. They said that you're going to be able to purchase the dock separately for the original Nintendo if you have it.
Yeah, I think everything still is compatible. The vanilla, the original dock is compatible. All the Joy-Cons are compatible. Pretty much all the accessories, I guess, is all compatible. So I mean, to me, I was looking at the specs. There's nothing that impressed me. Sure, it has a better screen, it has bigger memory, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is the same.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, well, the whole question of who is this for? Who are they trying to direct it? If you're brand new to Nintendo, this is for you.
Yes.
And if you're hardcore, like I gotta have it, then I guess that's for you too.
It's for you too.
But
exactly. It's like you want to see Breath of the Wild on an OLED 7-inch now when you're traveling.
Exactly.
Go for it, because there are people. You know what I mean? It's like you want to play the new Mario Golf, like Mario Odyssey, like you know what I mean. You pick your game and you want it to look prettier, because the games, first party Nintendo games, still work and run great on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. They know how to, at least that they do that thing right, where they almost guarantee and make sure that their first party titles run great and look great on the default Switch. So I feel like it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be an improved experience at that point. But if you're somebody that already has one, it's like,
there's no point.
And maybe you like to play online, so you just get the dock though. You don't need to get the new system. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's weird. And then, but Nintendo, they're still going to sell a.
Oh, of course they will. Yes.
And that's it. And then they'll say like, oh yeah, no, it was number one selling console this holiday. It's
One's
like
coming out October.
What did you
It comes
do?
out October.
Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll still right, exactly. But that'll spill right into the fourth quarter and all those numbers and stuff like that. It'll still be the hottest commodity to pick up this holiday.
Definitely. That's
So,
crazy. So. Yeah, somebody made this post here. It's like, hey, which one would you pick? Like you said, it depends on if you're mobile a lot, then I guess the Nintendo will make sense than the other two. But game-wise and hardware-wise, then I guess the S would be great because it's $300. It's $100 less than the PS4 or the PS5.
And the S is a small form factor now too. Like honestly, that thing is not hard to load around.
No,
I'm sorry,
it's
really
not. I've put it in my backpack and taken it to Houston when I go visit my parents, and most of the time I'm just stuck at the house just with them, So what do I do? It's like when they're sleeping, taking an old man's nap, I play games,
Exactly.
And so I take this instead of the X, or I could just take the One X. But either way, this will be better. It's for me.
Yeah.
What else we got here? We got that. And so Plague is getting an upgrade. Mm-hmm. And PS5 users have to jump through hoops. And somebody made this awesome chart here. I don't know if you saw it. Of games.
Oh yeah, the smart delivery chart. I did see it. It was like one of the best memes out there, dude. And it's not even meant as a meme, but it is a meme at this point.
It's facts. I mean, this is not even. I mean, was it meant as a joke? I guess so, but it is true. These are the facts of smart delivery. Whatever you want to call it, is it a buzz term? Sure, it is. Whatever, but it actually works. It's a thing, and it's happening, and it's gone off without a hitch. And as you can see here in this chart, yes, it's a joke, but at the same time, it's not. You just fire up the game and it takes care of everything for you. And we've talked about this before in the past shows that we've been able to do this since the Xbox 360.
Since inception.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
And some people still don't realize that how far back this cloud save thing goes. It goes back all the way to the 360. Yes. Where, if you got the Xbox One and if you had your cloud save, available, then, hey, it works. Just like every...
Cloud saves are attached to your Windows account to the point where if you log into a PC with your Windows account and you play a game that you have played previously, you can pull your saves from the cloud and still play them on another PC. It could be a friend's PC. It could be an upgraded PC that you've gone to. You don't have to worry about saving a file, putting it on a USB stick or anything like that. Like, it just works. I hate to even say it. It just works.
People make fun of it for being such a buzz term, buzz phrase, or whatever you want to call it. But it just simply works. And I haven't seen any posts or any articles, or I'm surprised there hasn't been any articles as much as all these media people hate the Xbox. Try to downplay smart delivery. Whereas here on the PlayStation 5, look at the different processes for the different games. It's all different for all the games, or it's not available at all. It's sad. And the funny thing, I still go back to my One X because my Series X is here in front of me on my computer because I got the new gaming monitor, and my One X is still on my big TV. So I kind of go back and forth depending on the game I'm playing. It's like if I don't need the graphics, I'll just go over to my One X. You know, like Maneater. You know, it's like I don't need 4K for that. You know, so I go to the big TV and I play on the One X, and my save just works. I could just continue on. It says syncing. I was like, okay, do your thing. And then it's a beautiful thing. Dude.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I do that.
But we take it for granted. That's another thing too. It's like we take it for granted and we try to, use it as a talking point. But I mean, we don't even need to tout it though. It like you said, it's something that is just there. It's not a selling point anymore. It's almost like to be expected. Like if you're not doing it at this point, you're behind the times. Unfortunately, you're just not at par because that's almost the bare minimum now at this point. Anything that comes out after this, like especially when you're talking about certain titles and stuff, like this should just be included and implemented all the time, just all the time. So it's sad to see. Again, it's just another smear and a mark against what the other guys are doing on the other side, and they'll come up with every excuse under the sun to explain why it is the way it is and why they couldn't do it the way it can be done, and why you're talking about two different, UIs and a different generation, and it just can't be, all of this stuff to basically avoid the actual issue itself of, well, then that's just it's poor planning then. It's poor there's no way, like this goes back to the argument of the expanded memory. Like if you weren't thinking about this when you were designing this console in the first place, then you didn't care. You didn't care. Like, no, there's no way somebody inside of R&D said, no, I want every user that has to play a game on last generation, and then when they finally get a PS5, I want them to do this. There's no way that was baked. That's an like, you know what I mean? Like, it had to be like a last minute crunch time thing where they just said, wait, how do people switch from PS4 to PS5, and how do they get their games over? And then the one engineer in the back said, well, I designed the way. Here it is. And then they said, okay, good. Go.
Sounds good. Let's go with that.
And it sounds good. Let's go with that. Let's not try to improve that in any way, shape, or form. So, it's what it is, unfortunately. And you don't think they pay attention and they see what's being said and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Are they going to listen?
Are they going to listen and then try to improve?
Are they actually going to listen? Yeah.
Because it's
but you
bad.
Can't, you can only beat a dead horse so many times.
It's bad. I mean, look at Borderlands. I mean, I don't know if you can read the text. Step 1, install the PS4 version. Okay. Then launch it. Yeah. And then select the character, and you have to upload the save for that character. Then download the PS5.
Which would also require you to download, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Wouldn't you have to then either own it already previously or download it previously at that point?
Yeah.
Like, let's say maybe you uninstalled it or whatever. Like, you'd have to you know what I mean? You're still going through hoops. But please
and then
continue.
It says at the very end, this one caught my eye, repeat for each character you want to transfer. So you got to do this again if you've done whatever number of characters you got.
Let's say you had like a co-op. Let's say you had a co-op one where you had a character and you were just running with other people when they were online and stuff. And then you had another character that was solo only that you'd have. Because I remember that on Borderlands 2. I had a character that I would use when everybody was online
to keep up with them.
Yeah. And then I had a character to keep up with them, and then I had a character that was just off to the side that when I wanted to play, I wouldn't play on the main. I'd play on the other character, and I would just play separately by myself. So it's crazy, man.
It's nuts. I mean, just looking at, and you got the three like a dragon Maneater. It's like not available. Sorry, you just got to start all over. Don't
kick rocks, no shoes at that point. That's what we see. Kick rocks, no shoes, no sandals.
And then, this is just nuts. It should just work. And I think somebody made a picture too that says it just works. I can't find it. It'll probably take too long to find it. But somebody put like Jim Ryan or something. I don't know what the Xbox that says it just works.
It just works.
And so it's just like, when it comes to to PCs and consoles, consoles simply just work out of the box, and luckily Xbox has been knocking it out of the park, with these designs and tech. It's just crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. It's the little things. I mean, that's what I see. That it really is the little things. You know what I mean? Like, this shouldn't. I mean, it's a nuisance, and it is a nuance too, because it's like, I don't know how many people are actually in this situation or experiencing this exact scenario, but it's definitely a pain point.
Oh,
And it's
I bet you can
didn't have
find
to be
tons
there.
of stories in Reddit, because everybody goes to Reddit.
Sure. Absolutely. Like if you actually went and searched for it and stuff like that. But it's like, me personally, I don't want to feed into it. But then again, it's like, but then I have to laugh when somebody jumps onto the chat or the timeline and literally goes, PlayStation's better.
Oh yeah.
I literally have in my mind, it's like, I want to respond to you, but I don't have to. Because just by you saying that is just enough validation for me to understand that you don't know what you're talking about. And that's it. Just keep moving.
It's crazy talk.
Right.
And a big one for today. It might be a short show today, man. But we all have things to do too.
Hey, man, listen, we're fire. Yeah, no, but listen, I think everybody understands we get our point across and stuff like that. And listen, we're just trying to, just tell our opinion about the situation, especially with this one.
This one was a big one today, which I read the article. It started off great.
Same.
It started talking about, the group and how they, turned it into an all access, song and parody, whatever you want to call it. They mentioned other groups from back in the 90s, which is great. And then they started coming down to here where is it? Who is this for? And they started going and talking about the black audience, the black gaming community.
Me and you literally had, we had, I definitely, when I was reading this, I definitely had to step back, and I really like the whole who's it for idea and the concept of it, as if like Xbox needed to cater to a certain demographic or something like that. It just felt so off base and just so out of left field at this point, where you're just grasping for straws at this point.
It's like,
where you're trying to make something out of
all this
nothing,
from here on was completely unnecessary. Where they had to make it, or she's a minority. She's a black person who wrote up this article, and then started going into the race discussion, which was not needed. It wasn't required. No. There was no.
And I don't want to speak for her.
No, me neither.
Right? I don't want to sit here and speak for her. She wrote the article. And I don't want to sit here and pursue anything like that. She appears to be African American, of African American descent. She's only 2 years older than me. When she made the comment about how she had to go back and Google, she said she was born in '87, but she had to go back and Google who this was. Like, I know the song. Like, you know what I mean? I think if right now, if you grew up in that time period, in that era, like, you heard that song on the radio, it was a one-hit wonder, like Legal had just said previously before we went live and stuff like it was that everybody knows who that song was. So it wasn't like they were just coming out of left field Xbox with the song. They took a song that was popular, they took the group that sang said song, and then they said, "Hey, do the parody of it." And I'm sure they also took care of them very well, and I'm sure they paid them, as you know what I mean, to make this commercial and stuff. And it just makes sense too. And the whole "who's it for" argument,
it's for the gamers.
We were talking about this a little bit before we went live too. It's for the gamers, but like, you don't think there's parents out there that don't know that you could right now go on to Xbox.com and actually have the ability to finance a system? You know how many parents don't realize that you could go directly to the manufacturer itself and of the console, of said console, and say, "Hey, I don't have the money to shell out $300 or $500, but I could definitely finance this for you," because there's a lot of families out there that do that. That's something that's been in retail. Walmart's been doing layaways. Why do you think that's still a thing till this day? Till this day, there's still parents that go out and wait to see the second a store will say, "Hey, we could start doing layaways and stuff like that." They go to the stores, and they go in droves to make sure that for the holidays they have gifts and things set up for their kids.
I think a store brought it back for a little bit. I don't know if it's still going on.
GameStop used to do a certain thing for it, only for consoles. They were very weird about it because they didn't want to get it, because it was different from reserving a system. Because I don't know if you remember back in the day when you'd reserve a system from them, you put the $50 down and then you make payments for it, which was sort of like a layaway. They started doing that with their used items as well too, to a certain extent. They started being, at a certain time, they would say, "Hey, you could come in, put however much money you want on it, and then by the time you're ready to come and pick up the system, as long as you have it paid off in full, they'll give it to you, and then you take it home and stuff like that." So it's always been an option, but that's why it's like, it just seems so like not everybody has the ability to go out there and spend $300, $400, $500 on a system, and and you don't necessarily have to be of African American descent or of Hispanic descent to appreciate a 90s R&B song, and to appreciate the humor and the comedy in the, you know what I mean? So it just felt
like
really
if they make more
dude.
of these with people from the 90s, say Cypress Hill.
Or New Kids on the Block. Like if they like New Kids, I was like of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC thing. Like imagine if they pulled like NSYNC and then Justin Timberlake comes out and then they do a parody of like Bye 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 or something. Like I would lose my mind. I would literally lose my mind. But I thought it was done in great taste, honestly. And if you look at the Xbox tweet and you go down the timeline and you see everybody, check marks, no check marks, everybody had a ball with it. Everybody on there's no like, oh, I can't believe you did this, oh my god, you know what I mean, all the culture, all the rape and pillaging, and none of that. It was literally just like, nope, like this was fun, this was great. But 90s, this was amazing, you know what I mean? So,
I had to double check to make sure that was them when the actual group. It was like, who's these?
I didn't realize it was at first. I didn't know. And then you literally go, it's like, oh my God, it's actually them from the 90s. It's actually
and
them.
then they put their like fluorescent jackets on. Here's the video. Yeah. And so, it's a fun video. It's a fun music video because it is a music video.
It's a full-on music video.
And
and me and, it's funny, me and Sensei, we said this earlier too, because we spoke about it, because he was the one who even let me know about this Kotaku article the other day. And we talked real quick, and then I told him, I said, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually check on this song right now on Apple Music or Spotify and stuff like that, if the numbers aren't up right now. So, and you don't think these guys aren't getting royalties from and stuff like that from that? Like, this helps out so many people in so many different ways. And also allows people to basically have an idea of like, hey, what was the music like back in the 90s? Because you do have those Zoomers, you have those kids that are 10, 12, who weren't even born when this was even out, and you wouldn't hear that unless you were listening to like an old school radio.
This happens all the time when somebody takes a song, remixes it, does it their own way. Like, hey, wasn't there original? And they look back, and what happens? Their album just went straight up.
Remember the Geico's done this a bunch of times. Remember the one where they did the Michael Jackson, the Who's Watching Me? But it wasn't, Michael sung the hook on it. But I always feel like somebody's watching me. That one. So the guys that did the remix to that, I ended up following them, and they were like these small time producers, electronic music, hip hop producers. I started Misto and Pizzy, I believe their names are, not important at that point. I didn't know who they were. They had a small following. After that Geico commercial came out, they blew up, dude. They literally just exploded, and they started doing so many other songs and stuff, but all because of that Geico commercial. So, it's like you get a big company like this to give you exposure again and stuff like that, and it's good for everybody. And I think it was done in good taste.
It was awesome. Yeah, I think it was awesome. Yeah, like you say, it was good taste. It was all in fun. And who was this for? Yeah. It was for the gamer and parents. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing political. Nothing about race. Nothing.
And the gamer of all age, not just the gamer that is young and stuff like that. And the 20-year-old, like that was referenced in the article. Like, no, this is also for the gamer that's like my dad, who's 40. I'm not gonna say my dad's age because I forgot at the moment, but I don't want to do math right now. But he's suffice to say, my dad's older, okay? And he's gaming every single day. We literally just had a Call of Duty session the other day where we were literally kicking ass on Call of Duty, like on PC and stuff like that. He games, like that's his hobby. Yeah. His hobby has always been PC gaming. So it's like this. He loves stuff like this. Like I told him about this, and he was even like, "That's so out of touch. Like that's so off base. Like it's crazy." And that's as a Hispanic person growing up in New York, when this song was, hot and stuff like that. So,
it was hot down here in Texas also. Everywhere. It was everywhere.
Everywhere. You heard it everywhere.
Yeah, all the ladies love this song.
Seriously, dude.
But I mean, like like we just mentioned earlier, dude, if they bring back like Cypress Hill, maybe that's too much. Maybe somebody else.
I mean, no, Cypress Hill would be. I mean, if you told me something like Insane Clown Posse, I might have to say, like, hold on.
Well, that's for Sony. We'll save that one for Sony.
I listen to ICP. Oh my God! See, all right, you said that, not me. Just remember that. So when the ponies come and attack us for this, him.
Yeah.
Okay. Him. Where am I pointing? Are you that way on the screen? Okay. It was the Astros fan that said it.
So who will be some other good ones, man? That I would think back in the 90s.
You got to think of ones too that weren't done. Like, I mean, listen, I guess I would take like a Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice would be a good one. And I'm sure he'll be all for it too. I mean, anything that'll give him money.
I'm sure. Absolutely. But like same thing, like New Kids on the Block, dude. I think that would be great. That's just, honestly, New Kids on the Block would be great.
New Kids would be. I mean, I wasn't a fan, but oh my God, can you people? Yeah.
98 degrees, even go like a little bit to like late 90s and stuff like that.
I think I posted this on Twitter with you on it. I have one for the Sony fans though. Was that In Vogue song? Never Gonna Get It.
No. For the expandable memory.
Never Gonna Get It.
Yeah.
No.
At this point, dude, it's July 7th now. At this point, like honestly, it's like I keep on checking in with my brother Big B just to make sure he's good over there because. And I can't even tease him at this point anymore because he's the only one asking, out of all the Sony people, he's the only one that I literally, with the big voice saying, where is my expandable memory? Where is it at this point? So
I'm actually working on lyrics to make a parody song with the background music of En Vogue.
Dude, go for it, man.
Milli Vanilli, yes.
That's
another one for the Sony fans. You know, what's it called? Rain? What was that song called? The one that got caught.
Oh God, I forget which one.
What was it called? The Milli Vanilli one.
Oh, the Milli Vanilli. Oh, I have no idea.
Something Rain. I forget what it's called.
Not sure.
Blame It on the Rain.
Blame it on the rain. Yeah, but see, once again, but none of them too. And there's more irony in that too, because none of their music was really their music. They were out there like lip syncing the whole time too. So
look at Sensei,
like a double entendre at this point.
Blame it on Game Pass. Yeah. You got to blame it on something.
It's horrible.
So, oh my God, yeah. I want to see some more of this parody for All Access because. But this title was awful. I mean, it was, like you said, this was terrible.
Yeah, I think, I don't, just the intent in the article, and the biggest takeaways for me is the tweet that Kotaku thought was cool to put out, which I was actually still trying to pull up, and because I think now it's like from 20 hours ago or something
Kotaku
like that.
One?
Yeah, for the actual tweet that tweeted this
somewhere.
article out. Which just when you literally here it is, and I'm just gonna read it. Microsoft's new All Access ad is black as hell.
Yeah.
And then it's just a picture of mind you, I believe only 2 of the members, All for One, were black. Because she also mentions black and brown and stuff like that, because they had Hispanic members as well in there too. Because that was another thing back in the 90s. You had, black R&B singers and stuff like that. You had white R&B singers back then, and you also had a lot of Hispanic R&B singers as well too. So, but just that takeaway right there, before you even click on the link, when you read that, and then you wonder why when you go down to Twitter, and it's but the author is black, so that doesn't make this any less stupid headline. You know what I mean? But there's just a lot. I'm telling you, you go down over here, a couple of people that we know chimed in, and other people too. But then some here. Never forget, and Halo Infinite is not delayed. We got everybody. Sorry.
Got.
And then Xbox put the Oprah hands up. The Oprah hands, when she was talking to the Prince and Markle.
Oh, it was awful.
Dude, but they're just ridiculous, man. It's clickbait.
Yeah. That was the clickbaits of all clickbaits.
We're still in the era of I'm a website and I get paid based on how many people click on this link. So I'm going to write something to make sure you click on said link.
Yeah, it's
and I don't and whatever comes after that, for some of us, we're going to read the article and actually see if there's any substance to it. But just by that title alone, it's please. It's still a thing as being, I wouldn't even say racist or something like that, but just doing a disservice to people of your own race or something, or just putting it in such a position where to even, like, to your point, make it about race. Just something that was like lighthearted and goofy and supposed to be fun as a parody could be somehow twisted and turned into that, Yeah,
it was just bad taste on this one. That could have been done so much better.
And just that got approved too. Just understand that. Like,
well, that's Kotaku,
was
man.
Written, and but that article was written, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, no, go ahead, send post." And then somebody went to the Twitter guy and said, "Hey, write something for the." And then the Twitter person said, "I got the headline right here." Boop, boop, boop.
Mm-hmm. One last thing, just popping up right now. This came up also.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the generation of director cuts for Sony? It seems like it.
I mean, yeah, the Ghost. Yeah, me and Sensei talked about this a little bit during our pod on Sunday. I mean, and it's so much so where it's like his power cut out. And I'm wondering if it was the tropical storm that was in Florida or Sony actually just seriously just DDoSing him at that point. Because my guy was literally on a roll, and just next thing you know, it's like he's out, and then I'm over here holding the bag like, where's my where's my guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so he's out, so I'm over there holding down the fort and stuff. It was awkward. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, here's another thing. Like, what Sony style releases could be on the way.
Pretty much all the big hits from the PS4 director's cut, which is the definitive edition.
Right, the definitive edition or something.
Yes.
So what, like, I guess we could be seeing A Last of Us 2?
Yep. They already announced that. I saw
right.
There's a listing somewhere. I can't find it, but
is it going to be the same type of headache that you have to go through like Ghost of Tsushima if you didn't own the game, or if you own the game then it's $20 and then $30?
It may be like a PlayStation 5 already coded game, but with everything with it,
Okay.
So kind of like the definitive, whatever you want to call it, edition, where it has all the DLCs or whatever extra bonuses that it has, and then but it's like specifically for the PlayStation 5, which I guess for people who just getting introduced to those games and didn't have a PS4, then that's fine.
If your first entry into PlayStation in a while, like let's say you skip PS4, and you know what I mean, and you're getting a PS5, if your first entry into that is, The Last of Us 2 or Ghost or something like that, that's cool. And that goes down to the price and stuff like that. Like, for new people, maybe if you want to go ahead and your first party titles and charge the higher price for it, okay, what are you going to say? You know what I mean? For new experiences. For people that own that game already, that bought that game, don't screw them over. Like, that's already your player base at this point. You're not trying to win.
It's already hard enough to get the PS5 enhanced version.
As it is. Right, exactly. Yes.
It's like if you got the PS4 version, just give them the enhanced version. If they want to buy the DLCs, then they can.
Yes.
Why have to buy a whole director's cut edition, for what, $70?
Yeah, right. Let them play the game if you're going to optimize it or not, because like I don't, what was the difference between Ghost on, didn't Ghost receive, and I think Kill said it too, Ghost received both of its optimizations on PS4 already.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So it got transferred over to PS5. So there's nothing.
How much more advanced is it?
How much more advanced? There was no big difference that you did. You're just like, you're repackaging something that you already had and basically trying to pawn it off as, oh, look at this new thing that we have. And it's not new. It's not new. But, it's okay.
But of course, just like with Nintendo, they're going to make money off of it. It's going to sell. And this is why they continue doing this, because people will buy it. Fans will continue like, look what we got. Look what we got. It's like, yeah, for $70.
Right. And my take was, listen, I've never played Ghost. So what? Go ahead.
And I saw, like I told you, there was a listing of all the games that are planned out for these director's cuts. They had Uncharted 4. Just 4.
Let's go back in the wheelhouse, 3-4 years?
Yeah. Not just 1, 2, and 3, and 4, but just number 4.
4 by itself, not even 1, 2, and 3.
No. I would say if you gave me all 4, then okay, that's a deal right there. If you're gonna,
absolutely.
But just 4, it's like you just fragmented your fan base on that one,
right? Because what do you do at 1, 2? Like, imagine just jumping into 4 and then not realizing there's a difference between like, let's just say, and I'll even make this comparison: God of War 1, 2, and 3, and then God of War. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like God of War 1, 2, and 3 being on the original, PS2, PS3, and then God of War being on PS4, but basically being a reimagining, but still a continuation of the story. It was technically a sequel, but also a different gameplay mechanics, a whole new reinvention of the way Kratos is and stuff, and that whole thing like that in itself, that's amazing. But so you could almost separate the two to a certain extent, where I didn't have to play the first to understand who this guy is, because they at least fed it to me in that story. You know what I mean? And kind of slowly, but I mean, it was cool though when you played the first ones and you saw the markings and the chains, and then you realize, spoiler, he breaks in and he still held the chains the whole time. Yeah. Like, that's like amazing. That's really good stuff. But with this, it's like, okay, here's Uncharted 4. I 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry about it. It's like it didn't matter. It's like Lethal. It's like literally starting off Lethal Weapon and starting off with 4.
Yeah.
Like, imagine watching Lethal Weapon and only watching it from Lethal Weapon 4. It's like it's a complete never mind.
Well, here's the headline: Ghosts is getting enhanced director's cut on both PS4 and PS5. So I was wrong.
That was 6 days ago from.
That was 6 days ago. Yeah.
And this is after this already, because this just came out though. Right now, the director's cut is out now, currently on the 5.
I don't know.
For Ghost.
On the 20th, August 20th.
Okay, so it's okay, and it's going to be an enhanced. I use quotation enhanced.
Yes.
Because I when I guess do they go down to say what is enhanced about it?
See, director's cut will have some PS5 exclusive features such as using the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers on the DualSense.
We already know how we feel about that. So
PS5 version of the game will feature lip-synced voices for the Japanese voiceover option.
Imagine having to pay for that.
So you're paying for
but seriously, imagine having to pay for something that should have been coded in the game in the first place.
Yes.
Imagine touting that as the reason why you should buy this next gen version, because the lip sync is now coded properly.
Yeah.
Like, dude, honestly.
There'll be
and who's that on? And that you think that's on? That's not. Listen, this is not the developer that's coming out and saying this price and using it. This is marketing. This is Sony marketing that's doing that.
Let's see, enhancements to the 3D audio on PS5, as well as the drastically improved load times. 4K resolution options and frame rates targeting 60 frames for the PS5 version. Mm-hmm. It's unclear how these updates may improve upon the PS5 optimization patch Sucker Punch released last year. If you already own Ghost, a patch will be available. Oh, okay, there you go. The new updates when the director's cut is available. Current owners will also be able to bring their save over to PS5. We'll see how that goes.
By following these few steps.
There's got to be a blog post for each game. Director's Cut will launch on its own for $70 on the PS5 and $60 on the PS4. Can't you get Ghost right now for like $25?
Dude, even when they did the definitive editions for Tomb Raider, which wasn't the marketing deal bought by Microsoft back then too for the Tomb Raider games?
They got the 1 year deal.
Okay. Remember when the Tomb Raider games came out and they did those definitive editions? Those games did not launch at full retail price. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those games came out at least at like the $50 mark.
Yeah, I think it came out to like $50 because it was already out a year. Yeah.
Do these people not learn anything, or they just don't care? What is it? Like, I think that's really the focal point.
Hold on. If you bought the Director's Cut PS4, you'll be able to upgrade to Director's Cut PS5 at any time for $10.
So they're still going to charge you the extra because they still want to get the extra 10. So they're going to charge you the full 60. But God forbid you want to play that game on PS5. When you buy your PS5 this holiday or whenever you get it, you still got to pay $10 more to get that game over. Yeah. Dude.
Oh my. Okay. So you can
it's also like it could sound like bullying at this point. I know it can, but it's really not. It's really just. It really is just the little things at this point, and it goes down to caring about your consumers, and there's just a lack of care.
And I'm sure people will say, "Well, don't you Xbox guy loves options? These are options for us." It's like, this is not options. These are not great options at all.
This is a first-party title game that's been out for over a year that they're making you pay for again. That you've literally played almost all of this. The only thing that's new about this, besides the lip syncing and the new island. That's it. Yeah. You're getting a new island, which is supposed to be big, but you're getting a new island and you're getting lip syncing, and you have to pay for it again. Or if you already own it, but you still have to pay more money for it. Like it doesn't make, or just call it DLC then. Don't call it a new experience. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I go back to that angle at this point. Don't tout it as being its own separate thing. Just say this is an expand or whatever like that. Like, because it's just, I don't even know at this point, honestly. It's just bad. It's just bad business all the way around. And we don't have to deal with that because first-party games are given to us with our subscription, period.
Yes.
Done. They're given to us with our, and then they're also delivered to us on our next generation consoles at no extra charge.
If Sony had like a good PS Now somewhat comparable to Game Pass, I would sign up.
I literally mentioned this. I've told this to you. I've told this to Kills. I've told this to anybody that I've talked to. I said if they did have one that had all of their first party titles, and let's say they wanted to charge $15 a month for it or whatever they wanted to charge for it, it would be worth it.
Yes.
Because at least then it would literally have their games in it. If it had Ratchet, if it had Ghost, if it had The Last of Us, if it
Horizon,
give me all of Horizon, if it had all of those games, and as long as you continue to pay the monthly cost, you'd have access to all those games. This would not be an issue. Like nobody would care. And then if you still wanted to charge extra for the DLC and stuff like that, you can still.
And that's what they do with us right now. They give you the base game, like say Forza Horizon, and if you want the Lego or whatever Hot Wheel edition, you just pay for that.
You pay for the extra.
You pay for the extra.
You just pay for it. You don't think that's going to happen in Forza? The way that they're going to market that up, down, left, right, and everything that's going to come in, this special car, this special brand, this special thing, you don't think there's going to be microtransactions?
It's crazy.
But the people that really enjoy that game, you don't think they're going to take out their
I bought the Lego one
or just
from Horizon 3.
That's what I mean,
I bought the Lego because the Lego is awesome.
But
I'm sorry, the Hot Wheels. It was the Hot Wheels.
Right, the Hot Wheels, right. But you also enjoyed the game.
Yes, I enjoyed the game.
Like, that's a different, and also going back to the fact that, I mean, back then, was that on Game Pass back then? 4?
4 was the current one. It was 3, and I think 3. Okay. I think 3 was. It is now.
I mean,
it is now.
Right. But it is now. Yeah. It is. I
don't remember if it was already part of Game Pass. I think it was.
People are going to be more receptive to spending more money.
You know what? I can tell you because if I bought it, I have it in my awesome spreadsheet of games that I purchased.
I love that spreadsheet.
Let's see. Xbox.
When I grow up, I'm going to have a spreadsheet just like you.
Forza, let's see, Horizon 3. So I bought it. So it wasn't in Game Pass. It wasn't in Game Pass.
It wasn't in Game Pass. All right, so you bought the game and then you still continued. But back in the day, when you had to buy the game and also still buy add-on content if you enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do that.
No. Game Pass. I mean, yeah. They say, people buy more games. I'm not that person. I use Game Pass and I use it for what it is, I mean, I still buy games, but not from the system, from the subscription. I buy.
And the developers still getting, because listen, Microsoft's getting their cut from the microtransaction. The developers getting their cut for the microtransaction. You're still supporting the devs. And the only reason why it's on Game Pass in the first place is because the devs got paid.
Yeah, it's not like Microsoft is saying, you know what, I'm going to put your game here and that's final. I don't know how people think that's the way it goes.
Exactly. Yeah. People just have this ridiculous misconception about how Game Pass works, or they just feel they take it as a dirty word. It's renting. You don't own your games in the first place. Everything under the sun that they want to say. Yet they're the same people that logged on this morning and watched Loki from Disney Plus. It's the same person. It's literally the same person. At that point, you have to tell them, okay, well then cancel your Disney Plus subscription at that point. Like, you're done. Like, you're done. Or, hey, guess what? If you're a Sopranos fan and you want to go watch The Many Saints of Newark this holiday,
I'm going to go to the movie
theaters. Or wait the 30 days and it'll be on HBO Max.
I'm gonna go watch it.
You're gonna go see it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Then anybody that's holding that argument that you're renting things and stuff like that, then you go out to the movie theaters and you go watch it. It's the same argument I want to make.
Do you guys have Cinemark up there? Cinemark theaters?
I want to say yes. I want to say we actually have a Cinemark that's in the Bronx. There's a few, but we're mostly like AMC and stuff over here. And we used to be UA. Remember United Artists?
Yes.
That was the big movie theater of mine.
I think we have one theater here in
Dallas.
Dallas that's United Artists, or it's Rave. Is Rave and United the same? I don't know.
I don't know. Cinemark movie theaters. So there's literally, where is that? That's up. I'm sorry. There's one Cinemark, and it's right outside of Buffalo.
Well, Cinemark, they have their own subscription business model.
Well, that's like AMC with Stubs.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not too familiar with AMC because I don't sign up with them, but for Cinemark,
they give you the free popcorn, and then you could go see the movies for the monthly price, and so you go see however many movies.
Oh, then it's different then, because I get one free ticket a month, and it rolls over. It doesn't expire,
Okay.
But then I get 20% off on concession stuff.
Yeah, I think with the Stubs, they give you a free popcorn. You get discount on concession stuff, and then they give you. It's not. I don't want to like make it sound like it's carte blanche, but they give you like you get to go see a few movies.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't think it's just one.
We have this one like kind of independent theater down the street. I mean, I can walk to it, right? It's like half a mile from my house. That poor little theater, man. It just nobody goes to it.
But that's the thing too. It's like you have those, and sometimes not necessarily in smaller towns, but even in like suburban areas and stuff like that. Like I remember there just being movie theaters, especially in New York. Like I had a movie theater like growing up a couple of blocks away from my house. Like it was a couple of avenues down, and then it was like an old school like theater and stuff like that. But if you didn't want to go to like the big fancy movie theater and stuff, you just went to the one that was local.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when IMAX started being a thing and stuff like that, like there's not that many movies that I didn't watch as like an older kid and a young adult. Like when I went with my dad and stuff like that, like Batman and stuff, I saw that right Lincoln Center, the IMAX theaters and stuff like that, because that was, you know what I mean? Like that was it. Once you experience a movie like that, you always want to, you know what I mean?
So my younger son, he's kind of understanding the lay of the land here. When he sees landmarks that he recognizes, like, oh, we're almost home, right? So he'll see the theater, and you can see the top of the theater like from a freeway, right? He's like, oh, home is that way, right? It's like, yeah. So one day he asked me when we drove by the theater, that old theater, he's like, hey, why don't we ever go to that theater there? I was like, because I get better deals at Cinemark, you know? And I was like, you know what? We'll go one day. Just so we can go inside. It's been a few years since I've been in there. I said we'll go and check out like a cartoon or whatever's showing in that theater. And my other son is like, well, why do we go to the other one that's like 10 minutes away? And I was like, because they got the IMAX theater, man. You gotta watch these good movies on the IMAX,
Yep.
And it's like Godzilla. Didn't you like Godzilla on the IMAX? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, that's why.
That's why.
That's why, man.
Yeah. Asked and answered,
That's why. How about all the Avenger movies? It's like IMAX. We've seen them there.
Dude, IMAX. So I'm literally day and date in IMAX. I was like one of those crazy people in Connecticut with a bunch of my friends too, waiting online like a crazy person, and waiting to go see Infinity War, and then even the second one too, Endgame. Endgame was just, I remember that night. That night was nuts.
Oh yeah.
And
our place just cheered, at the very end, like, yeah! It just erupted. It was awesome.
Oh, man. Just the cap thing. It was just, oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
It was nuts, man.
And so, no.
I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back to that, dude. Like, honestly, like, I know Black Widow's coming out 2 days. Yeah. So it's a Marvel movie. I haven't missed Marvel movies in the movie theaters in a while, but I might be a little bit late to see this one. But then also, I might have to do the Disney Plus thing. I just might. Only because it's Black Widow. I mean, I feel like it would be nice to experience that in a movie theater. But I think the one I'm more excited for is the Shang-Chi.
Yes. Yeah.
The Shang-Chi one, that one I have to be in the theater for. That and Eternals.
Yeah.
Eternals, if I'm not in IMAX, dude, I'm going to lose my shit.
For the other one you said, Shang-Chi. Yeah. I told my son, it's like, we got it. He's in Kung Fu. And I know it's martial arts, different types. And I told her, look, we're going to watch this. Pay attention because this is what I want you to do. I want you to do all those moves. I want you to be an Avenger.
But that's not fair though, because these people are literally trained professionals on wire work and stuff like that. So it's like you have to make sure that you set the right
yes,
because you're gonna leave to be in the other room trying to do something you saw in that movie, and then you're gonna wonder why you're sitting inside of a hospital for the next 6 hours. Okay, so you have to make sure you preference that with them. Like, listen, I want you to learn this, but this is how they did it, just so you know. Movie magic, okay?
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. So
he doesn't know that. Yeah, okay. So
this is all real, son, and you gotta have to do it.
Exactly. See, and I don't have kids, but this is why I guess people have kids. It's to actually just like their like ideas that would come to them like that. Be like, oh, I have a kid. I could just tell him to go and do that. You know what I mean?
It's like, go do that, son. But Dad, don't you butt me. Just do it.
No butt. Just go.
No butt. Just do what you saw on the TV right now.
Just go. Run off of the wall. Run. See, wall. Run. You run.
Run. Just run. You're disappointing me right now. Just run. But Dad. So no. Yeah, I've been going to IMAX recently. I think the last one I saw. Well, Godzilla. Godzilla was the last one I saw.
Yeah.
So we saw that. Even my wife's like, "Why are you guys going to the theater? It's so gross in there, with the COVID stuff." And it's like, come on. It's like, give it a rest already. It's not an excuse anymore. It's like, we're getting cleared up now. It's like, but it's the IMAX. She's like, oh yeah, that is true. It is the IMAX. She's like, okay.
And even at that time when Godzilla came out, they were still doing the thing where they were separating people, weren't they? Like,
they like you choose your seats, and it automatically gives you a buffer, between the other set.
You got a buffer. And then I do this, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of movie theaters, especially I think even the AMC ones, they were doing this like whole deep cleaning thing, like literally after the movie would end, you would leave. Besides just cleaning up the popcorn and all that stuff, they would literally spraying down the seats and wiping everything down and stuff like that too. So,
Yeah, I mean, the times we've gone recently to go watch that Baby Boss.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clean. I mean, but there's nobody there either. Not everybody's going still, so.
Sometimes that's also, I always appreciated those movie experiences where like you would go early enough, and sometimes I like to experience movies that way, like an Endgame thing and stuff like that. Yeah, I like the whole crowd around me.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I go see a movie, I just want to be like, there I'm with whoever I'm going with to go and watch the movie. But I'm also that weirdo. It's like, no, I just want to go to the movie, watch the movie, and then just have my own space. Maybe there's not a lot of people in there, and I just want to experience the movie.
Was it? I think it was last Friday or so. After work, I got off early. I was like, you know what? Nobody knows I'm getting off early from work. And I was at the office that day. I'm going to the movie theater that afternoon.
I've done that.
And so I went to go watch. I was like, I'm going to go watch A Quiet Place Part 2. Right? And I was like, oh, cool. Let me get the tickets right now. Get it all set up. And when I was selecting my seat, they were all open. I was like, dude, am I the only one in there? It's like, cool. Yeah. So when I get there, I'm like, yeah. And like half the theater was full. I was like, I guess I'm not alone.
You were just a little too early. Yeah. So like you got to say,
yeah.
No.
So.
But yeah, man.
But that was good. Well, we talked a lot of stuff that we weren't planning to, but that was fun as always. So I think we'll cut it short here. You got your thing to do too as well. You got to do your scrimmage.
Yeah, my guys. They're messaging me now. Yeah, it's honestly, it's nerdy, it's corny. It's okay. League of Legends, they run these clash tournaments, which they're not even they're amateur tournaments that they run, but you get to submit a ticket, and in the ticket, depending on how well you do in the tournament, it's like an 8-team bracket tournament, and they have winners and losers, right? Losers brackets, winner brackets. If you win your 3 games in a row, and they do it for 2 days, then you get like some of the best prizes. Yeah. Like the more games you win, the better prizes you get. But if you lose a game, you drop down, you don't get anything for that, but then you could still earn like consolidation prizes, basically. So there's still like, they give you a reason to play. But it takes the regular gaming experience of League of Legends and just amplifies it and gives it more of like the tournament feel when you're watching like professional play on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching LEC and LCS and all of these different leagues and stuff like that, you draft the same way. You get to scout out the people you're playing against the same way. You literally have to go in and you take their names and you put it inside of a website and you get to see what champions they play on, who's their strongest, who's their weakest. And then you have to ban them out. It's 5 head. It's literally, it's like, I love it. I've been playing the game for 3 years. I'm starting to actually be somewhat decent at it now. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to be like, oh, I'm great. Yeah. I'm like trying to learn a new role on it. and it's very exhilarating, and exciting. And I play with a good group of friends, so
it's always better with friends, as always.
It's always better with friends.
Yeah,
always.
So
yeah.
Well, cool, man. We'll have fun. Kick their butts.
Thank you, brother.
Do your thing.
Thank you.
Sensei may join us next time. I guess he had his.
Yeah, no, I mean he's hanging out with the family. He's got family that's from the East Coast. Hopefully, he's got good Spanish food going on too. Because I'm telling you, anytime you got the family coming over, and especially he's Puerto Rican, I'm Puerto Rican, so it's like I asked him, I texted him, he didn't respond to me, and hopefully he says yes, but I asked him if they were making pollo guisado, which I love that, and literally, it's like my favorite, and not that I can have it. It's not like I'm flying to Florida to go and have, but I'm just like I would be happy for him. I would be happy for him to know that his family was making like a dish like that, because I love that. It's like, you
got me hungry now, dude.
Have some chicken stew.
I need to go to Houston and get my mom's cooking.
Yeah. For those that don't have the SAP button, it's a pollo guisado. It's a chicken stock stew. So
yeah. So
yeah.
Well, good deal, man. Well, thanks for tuning in with me. Too bad Leo couldn't join us. He did jump and crash for a little bit and start off the show that way.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. How else would you want an intro though, man? You literally get legal just like off to the races, and it's like, well, that's one way to intro a pod. There you go. For it. Let's go. So that was awesome.
As usual, tell people, whoever's watching right now, where they can find you.
So it's Logix_so_sick. I know it's a little confusing. Sorry about the underscores, but they won't give it to me the regular way on Twitter. I do a weekend pod with my buddy Sensei, Sensei Thoughts podcast. Catch it. It's Sunday, 5:00 Eastern. And we put up the replays, middle of the week and stuff like that. And I'm on Xbox 2 Unit Logic. It should be Unit Space Logic. So add me on Xbox and we could game in, because I'm always available, always gaming.
Sweet. But no, did you say sorry? You're mainly on PC though, or you?
I'm both. So I got I was playing MLB before I got in here with you. But I switch back and forth when the boys are on PC. We're doing the league stuff, but then I'm on MLB. I'm playing Halo, Crackdown. I was hooked on Crackdown. I'm telling you, I'm really happy that I was able to get back into Xbox, because there's so many games that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to play, and just the fact that I'm playing them again, I'm just having such a good time with them. And then now I'm doing the podcast talking about that. It's a really cool feeling. So I'm happy to be back in the ecosystem. That's for sure.
Sensei feels a little left out there. He's saying, "Are you guys ignoring me?"
No, so because we weren't ignoring him. We were just, when you're melding together and you're having that good conversation and stuff like that. It's like, and plus, I don't want to sit here and speak. It's his show, so I'm not going to sit here and highlight the chat. He's going to highlight the chat and talk it and do that narrative, and I'm just going to be the nice guest and stuff like that. And plus, you're one of us breaking my balls. I'm sorry, I just have to say that on his show. All right, so you know what? You're loved and adored. Is that what you want me to tell you?
It's kind of like we miss you. With me and Legal. He's like, hey man, come with me on my show. Come. It's like, oh, I'll try to join. Sometimes I just can't.
Right.
And I tell him, so look, dude, I'm the guy on the couch, kind of like at the talk shows. I'm the guy on the couch. He'll probably put his 2 cents in every now and then, crack a joke, hit me with the bat, and let the fat guy roll around. That's me. I'm that guy. What's that guy from Jimmy Kimmel? Miguel or Julio or whatever his name is?
Oh no, I can't. Oh no, it's gonna be bad. I don't know his name, and it's my people too.
That's me.
Yeah.
So, like Sensei's like lies. So.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, you gotta do your thing. I gotta do my thing. My kids are banging on the door already. So, take care. Good night. Thanks for everybody who's watching right now, and hopefully we can do this again next week.
Sounds good.
All right.